I wonder if you could be so kind and let me know what is the worst pay-per-view you've ever seen. General public, hit me with what you think is the worst pay-per-view ever.
Hi, this is Dave Rain, and my worst pay-per-view is ECW, December to Dismember 2006. WrestleMania 9.
King of the Ring, 99.
There's been a lot of great shows, but there's always one that sticks out as really bad. 1995 was the first time I'd ever actually sat up to watch a WWF pay-per-view on Sky with my mate Steve, who was the guy who introduced me to pro wrestling and the soft drugs that led to the hard drugs of ECW and FMW and what have you. King of the Ring 1995. And even now, the word anticlimax doesn't come close. It's the opposite of climax. From a wrestling point of view, I never know if I'd get hard again after watching that. It's so bad. I'm actually going to go and cancel my WWE Network subscription right now, just the memory of that, in case I accidentally put it on. There should be a little warning, a siren, like in The Simpsons when Homer tried to buy that caravan, that goes off whenever you think about maybe watching King of the Ring 1995, because trauma, oh my word, Mabel putting the I can't do this, cut, I'm out.
The worst pay-per-view ever, Starrcade 94.
SummerSlam 2006.
WCW Starrcade 99. Terrible.
Hello, Marc. Jay from OSW Review here. Worst pay-per-view of all time? WrestleMania 4. Fuck that show. Merry Christmas, bruh.
So people want to know the worst ever pay-per-view I've ever seen. Alright. Anything that starts with WCW from 2000 is the worst. You want to say bad, or no, it wasn't Bad Blood, that was WWE, Shawn Michaels, and The Undertaker Hell in a Cell, first time ever. But, if you want to talk about 1999, 2000, anything from WCW, especially the New Blood, was the worst shit ever. Anything Sold Out, New Blood, Slamboree, 2000, don't even waste your time in watching that on YouTube or the WWE Network, because it's no good.
It's interesting there. It's very, very interesting because there's various clips there from various people who are letting me know what they think is the worst pay-per-view ever. So this one we're about to review right now, it can't be that bad. Can it? Gentlemen, and welcome to this. It's Marc P's Christmas review, and oh, have we got a doozy for you. Thank you so much to everyone who sent me a clip wanting to be part of the intro there. It really means a lot. It is interesting that none of you seem to mention this one, so as I say, confidence is high going into this one because, ladies and gentlemen, it's July the 14th, 1991, and we are live at the Baltimore Arena in Baltimore, Maryland, the arena that Tito Santana Arriba won the IC Championship from Greg Valentine, and of course, the long-time home of the Great American Bash. Oh yes, 7,000 fans on hand tonight. 100,000 fans have tuned in at home, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just open this bad fucker, because this one is so good that I've got a giant can of Blue Spark just to help me get through. We start this pay-per-view with a Steadicam shot from over the road, across the road, through the concourse, to the ticket stands where we buy 2 tickets despite giving out no money at all, even though there's only one of us, of course. There's not 2 Steadicams going side by side. We then make our way into this massive arena that looks pretty full and see. What do we see? Well, we'll talk about what we see in a moment. Dark match for this one. Junkyard Dog beating Black Bart in 12 minutes. And aren't you gutted that you missed that one? Black Bart trained Ring of Honor's Necro Butcher. Isn't it strange that I can remember that, but I can't remember what I had for dinner yesterday? Jim Ross and Tony Schiavone on commentary. Hooray! Lucky us. So, what do these people see? What do you see? What's the first thing you see? What's the one thing that grabs your attention when you go into the arena? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Above the ring, there's a fucking great big scaffold. Oh, yes, there is. Our opening contest tonight. PN News and Bobby Eaton defeating Steve Austin and Terrance Taylor in a terrible scaffold match. Going to need some help here because there hasn't been a scaffold match in mainstream wrestling for quite a while. There may be people watching this video right now going, what the fuck is a scaffold match? Well, I'm going to let my friend Joey here explain the rules of a scaffold match because he's Joey and he can and he knows these things. Over to you, Joey.
Thanks, Mark. The scaffold match. Potentially the most dangerous match the wrestling world has ever seen. There's a reason why they don't do scaffold matches anymore, and it's simply because they're just far too dangerous. So much can go wrong when you're talking about standing on a platform 25 feet above the ring. Now, for those of you who don't know what a scaffold is, it's simply a steel or wood platform that helps construction workers when they need to get up high. Gives you a little bit more latitude than a ladder would. The rules of the scaffold match are real easy. The scaffold is set up above the ring with the ring underneath it like a bridge. Wrestlers stand on opposite sides of the scaffold. When the bell rings, they meet in the middle and fight. No pinfalls, no submissions, no disqualifications, no time limit, no stopping the match for any reason. The only way to win the scaffold match, the only way to win, is to knock your opponents off of the scaffold in any way you can into the ring. That's it. No need to overcomplicate things. Unfortunately, though, at the time of this match, it was about the time Ole Anderson waved the white flag. Back to you, Mark.
You see, those are the rules of a scaffold match. But fuck those rules. Fuck them and their WCW ass. They're dumb. In this match, it's capture the flag rules. There is a flag on either side of the scaffold, and the objective of the match is to get over to the other side, get your flag, get the opponent's flag, take it back to your side, and that is the way you win the match. Now, the thing about a scaffold match is it normally set up, there's only one high spot you can do in a match like this. No, there's two, sorry. There's two high spots. There's something like a big back body drop, and it's normally teased more than actually done, and of course it's them someone taking a fall off the scaffold. This match is booked, or it looks to me like this, that it was booked as a normal scaffold match until the day of the show, when all 4 of these men got to the arena, took one look at the scaffold, and said, fuck taking any bumps either on or off that shit. So they booked it so that it is a capture the flag match, the first and, as far as I know, only capture the flag scaffold match. Another thing to point out about this match is that the actual platform of the scaffold is normally made of steel, so it can take some weight. This time it's made of what looks like balsa wood and bends. It must be absolutely fucking terrifying. Some notes about this one. First things first, PN News. Is he actually a rap master? Because that's his name, Rap Master PN News. More importantly, if he is a rap master, does that make me want to buy tickets to see him or see WC? No, it doesn't. Austin looks the absolute business in his robe. He's got, I think it's the US Championship belt, and he's got his manager Lady Blossom with him, who looks absolutely fantastic. Wasn't Lady Blossom his wife? Was that one? Was Lady Blossom Yeah, I'm pretty certain that he was married to Lady Blossom at this time. Terrance Taylor, of course, used to be the Red Rooster in the WWF. Haha, that's funny. So, as far as I know, these guys aren't feuding. This match is happening because WCW. It's our favourite reason. So, let's talk about if there's anything at all. There's nothing. No, there's nothing in the match. Austin managed to just knock PN News over and lay some boots in, because that's, like I say, about you can do. If you attempted a body slam on this on the floor, you would go straight through the scaffolding down to the canvas and probably die. So, after nothing, Bobby Eaton gets the flag and fucks off with flag over to the other side of the ring. Yeah? And then nothing happens. He doesn't win the match or anything like that. So he takes the flag back to the other side and starts laying in some flag shots. Austin, cause he can, gets some hairspray off Miss Blossom, uses it on both of the baby faces, and they have a little bit of a brawl. And then the match stops. And you're sat going, someone please explain to me what's just happened. This, folks, I promise you, hand on heart, that this is the honest to God truth. This is the worst match I have ever seen. Worse than the Evening Gown. Worse than the Human Torch. This was worse than any match that I participated in my backyard days. Nothing happened. Crowd were dead throughout, and quite rightly, because they had no reason to cheer, no reason to get excited, because nothing happened. The scaffold stipulation was utterly pointless. They could have just had a generic, bland, boring tag match and it would have been passable. The finish was utterly ridiculous because Eaton got the flag, went across to his finish, to his fucking side of the scaffold. That's the finish. You have to get your flag, have to get the opponent's flag to your side. That's how it works. But nothing happens, so they continue brawling. And then the ring announcer just stops it. And that is that. A horrible, convoluted mess of a match. The worst match I've ever seen. That's a great way to start off the show. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's think about this one. The Evening Gown match in 2000, I rated a -5 stars. I'm pretty certain I did. The Human Torch match was worse than that, if you can believe that shit. I gave that -6 stars. Now, I shouldn't even give out -6 stars, because there shouldn't be a -6 fucking stars. But wait, I went there. Oh, yes, but, folks, this is worse than the Human Torch match. What do we give it? What do we give it? You want to give it -5 because you shouldn't be going any lower, but it's worse than the Human Torch. -7 stars. The worst match. Every match in the history of wrestling before or since has had at least some redeeming features compared to this. Promise. Jesus fucking wept. And that was just the first match. We get to see Tony Schiavone's amazing blonde hair. It's incredible. Jim Ross and Tony talk about the title situation, which we'll talk about later. Then Bischoff talks to Paulie dangerously. He says Rick Steiner will never lay his hands on him because he has Arn Anderson with him. Hooray. Arn Anderson says, if you put us in a cage like criminals, we're going to commit criminal acts tonight. Criminal assault on your asses. Arn Anderson was horrible here. He stumbled over all his words. Paulie dangerously he was shouty, is probably the best way I can describe it. More talking from Jim Ross and Tony as they run down the card. This is all, of course, because the scaffold needs to be pulled down. One of the problems, I suppose, is having it on first. Weird. I get that, but goddamn, this felt long. Should we get on? So, match number 2 of what, 10? I'm sure that's all. This card feels like it's never going to end, is what I'll say. I promise you that. Alright, the Diamond Stud defeating Tom Zenk in a rubbish match. Tom Zenk is known as the Z-Man over there in America. Of course, that doesn't work over here in good old Blighty because we say Z instead of Z, so he's the Z-Man, which makes me chuckle. Stud is known to you and me as Scott Hall. He looks ripped to shit, to be honest. He looks ripped to hell. And he has DDP as his manager. Both men are shown waiting at the top of the ramp. So for example, you've got Diamond Stud, stood at the top of the ramp, and and they do a wide shot, and you can see him there. And then when the ring announcer, whose name completely escapes me, when he starts doing the introduction, all of a sudden comes to life, nay! And it's so amateur looking. Both men do it. I don't know if it happened in the opening contest, but both men do it here. Page looks awesome in his 90s Americana outfit, and then some bird pulls off Diamond Stud's pants. Stud controls from the start in this one after Page had pulled the ropes down. Stud has S-T-U-D written on his ass when his name is Diamond Stud, spelled S-T-U-D-D. I don't know why, but once again it's one of those because WCW kind of things, isn't it? It's one of those. Stud with a rope-assisted abdominal stretch. Z-Man misses an elbow, so Stud can stay in control with a crap-looking choke slam that's called a throat slam by Tony. That's the first thing the crowd have popped for this show, that choke slam. I say pop, it was more of a murmur, to be honest, but you know. Zenk gets a kick and we go outside. Jim Ross calls it a comeback kick. Whee! Inside, a missile drop kick only gets 2 as Page slaps Zenk in the face. This makes Zenk mad. He pulls Page in, so Diamond Stud can get the win out of nowhere with a belly to back suplex at 8 minutes. Utter squash for Stud. Zenk got one move in. He was trying though, Stud was, and it was a match with moves and everything, and it was so much better than the opening contest. 1 star seems very generous and the crowd hated it, so we're going to go for half. Next, Ron Simmons defeating Oz. Hey! In a terrible match. Fucking Oz. Oz gets a castle as his ring entrance. Oh wait, no, it's not a castle. It's a sheet they hang down that they project a picture of a castle onto. I'm not making this up. Promise. This music is odd. It's got the bass line of, what's it called? Another One Bites the Dust by Queen. You know that bass line? Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding. That's his entrance music. I don't know what that's got to do with us. If you're wondering, if you start going, the fuck are you talking about, Pearson? All right, Turner had acquired the rights to the Wizard of Oz film, and they wanted to do a nice little bit of cross promotion. So they created this character, a tall man who wears lime green pants, has a fake beard, and they put some random jobber in there that you know today as Kevin Nash. Now, we shouldn't need to point out that the country is called Oz and the wizard is just the wizard, should we? We shouldn't need to point that out. We should probably point out, though, that the great and powerful Oz has a manager with him called the Wizard. The Wizard is Kevin Sullivan. Obviously, who else would it be? Let's get on with... Wait! How many bumps will Kevin Nash take? Because I don't care if he's playing a different character. If it was Vinny Vegas, we'd still be playing this fucking game. How many should we go with? Well, it's early on in his career. Ron Simmons is just about to start his push, I suppose, towards the world title that he'll win in a year. He'll probably bump like a bat. Should we go with 5? Shall we go with 5? Oh. Oz gets a big boot, classic Kevin Nash straight away, and a shoulder block. Ron with a drop toe hold, and we get our first boring chant from this angelic crowd. They must be so patient. How have they not started just chanting boring for everything at this point? Ron gets a clothesline over the top. That's 2, and also gets a pop. Inside, Oz wants a tested strength. Jim Ross says the bigger man, this favours the bigger man, unless the smaller man is stronger. And you're going, so what are you trying to tell me here, Jim Ross, is that in a test of strength, the strongest man wins. Yes, that's why I became a commentator, folks, so I could say stuff like that. Fucking yes. Ron gets a nice suplex. That's 3. Oz no-sells the shit out of it, gets a clothesline and a sidewalk slam. For 2, it's nice to see that both Hall and Nash, because Hall did all his usual ones apart from the Razor's Edge. Yeah, both Hall and Nash had their moveset sorted out from their first matches and never altered them for the rest of their careers. Ah, shit me. Yeah, a shoulder block, just the one. Sorry, a shoulder tackle to the knee, and then a running shoulder block, just the one. Put Oz down, I guess that's 4 for the win. Hey! 4 bumps for Nash, so I suppose we should give it some credit, but this wasn't very good at all. Really not very good at all. Oz. I don't know how much longer Oz lasted, but I'm going to make an assumption here. It wasn't very long. We get, because things like this matter, we get a rundown of the WCW Top 10. Hooray! I get they do that on, yeah, they've got a ranking system, and yeah, I suppose, but on a pay-per-view? Does it make any difference? Who knows? Who can say? Because WCW. Richard Morton defeating Robert Gibson in a okay match, actually. Calm yourself, Mark. Come on. The Rock and Roll Express explode in the 4th match on a card that doesn't really make any difference. Incidentally, this show is meant to be the rebirth of WCW. This is meant to be like the restart switch. Everything starts again tonight. Yeah, really doing good with the restart button there, yeah. Gibson has Alexander York with him even. I love that gimmick. I truly do. And when Michael Wall Street was with her, it was brilliant. Oh, and then she has a word processor with her that's so wonderful. Oh, I wish you could see it. Truly, do. Crowd are mega hard for the start of this one. You've got a great tag team breakup here, and of course, Gibson, one of the best fucking sellers ever. So this one should be alright, shouldn't it? But this crowd are really hot, yeah? Until Morton starts stalling. He does a Grammy-winning level stall job on this one. Stalls for an age. I understand he's a heel, truly I do. But bear in mind, this match goes 17 minutes. It's like he's thought to himself, dude, we've got a lot of time to kill. We need to do something. Let's do some stalling. Okay, so Gibson has got a great big brace on his leg. Story of the match is there straight away. And yeah, quite rightly, Morton attacks the injured leg. All his offense, all of it is on the leg. Gibson's selling was a major part of the Express, like I've just mentioned. So when he gets a sunset flip, for example, out of nowhere for 2, the reason he doesn't get a 3 is because the leg's hurting so much. He can't hold him down because he's got to check on the leg. Shit like that is gloriously wonderful. More leg work by figure 4 by Morton in the middle of the ring, which Gibson eventually turns over, and we get some more leg work by Morton. Morton's hair needs to be brought up at this point, because the match, believe it or not, is actually quite dull. Someone like me should like the psychological aspects. I'll talk about why I don't in a second. His hair is, well, it's disgraceful, is what it is. It's a mullet with a ponytail sticking out. I'm pretty certain that Morton has still got hair like that to this day. It's horrendous. More leg work. Someone like me should be enjoying it, but I'm not. Here's why. Tag team breakup, grudge match. Don't want to see technical wrestling. Now, there is one little saving grace here, and that is that Tony, quite wisely on commentary, says, look, this isn't about winning a wrestling match. This is about ending a man's career. So he's trying to injure him so much that he ends his career. But wouldn't just hitting him with the fucking chair in the face do the same thing? I want to see blood. I want to see brawling. I want to see these two men beat the living snot out of each other. Okay? DDT gets Gibson back into it. Back body drop by Gibson, who crumples under the knee and naturally attempts a drop kick, which is just fucking stupid on every level, and it misses. Hooray. 4 men, just 4, in the front row chant, Morton sucks. But the crowd are utterly silent, and then, out of nowhere, Morton, after working the leg all match, grabs Alexander York's computer off her and whacks Gibson in the face with it to get the win. 17 minutes and 5 seconds. This, folks, is the definition of a very hard match to rate, because from a storytelling point of view, it was all right, but it was so long, and the crowd couldn't have cared less after the stall fest at the start made them completely lose interest. They were honest to God hot when these guys making their ring entrances. Fuck's sake. Also, Morton still wearing his Rock and Roll Express gear and hasn't got a heel beard or anything like that to make it so that he is a heel. He's just got shit hair and looks like he's 50 years old at this point. And I hated the finish. Let's go 1.5 stars because I'm nice. How's that sound? How have I almost drank all this already? Fuck's sake. Weird. Anyway, Dustin Rhodes and the Young Pistols, which is Tracy Smothers and Steve Armstrong, defeating the fabulous Freebirds, which is Jimmy Garvin and Michael Hayes, and Bad Street in an elimination match. So Faces talked to Bischoff beforehand. Dustin Rhodes cuts a promo which sounds the very spitting image of his dad. It's brilliant. Again, the Freebirds stand at the top of the entrance ramp waiting for their cue. And then as soon as the cue hits, yeah, fucking yes, as they come out, you know, it's so bad. Freebirds have Big Daddy Dink with them. Big Daddy Dink, who is Oliver Humperdinck to you and me. Bad Street is Brad Armstrong, dressed like a purple and green Power Ranger. Oh, it's true. In fact, fuck it. Look on your screens. Dustin gets a pop by dancing better than shit. Dustin gets a pop by... Sorry, I've just scrolled way too far up. Dustin gets a pop, that's what we know, by dancing better than Hayes. We get some nice high flying by the heels, who once again know that they have 17 minutes and need to do some hardcore stalling, which they then take to the next level by posing on the ropes to the point where the commentators say, look, why doesn't Tracy Smothers just attack them? Why does he sit and let them do this? When the commentators are pointing out shit like that, you know that it's piss boring. It's award-winning stalling once again. In an odd moment, Tracy Smothers clears the ring, then gets the hot tag, because this one ain't hot. Not seen that one for a while. Normally, he overcomes the odds to get the hot tag. This time he clears the ring, so there's no one in the ring, and then takes the tag. That sounds like a bit of a heel thing to do, does it not? I get pretty confused at this point. So they're the heels, yes? They start wrestling as the heels, the Pistols do. But then Dink attacks Armstrong on the outside. So obviously the Freebirds are the heels, right? Smothers is your pistol in peril. The crowd are so uninterested in this match, but they do pop for Hayes' offense. Chin locks by both Hayes and Garvin confirm their evilness. I'm missing something at this point with Bad Street. Bad Street is Brad Armstrong under a mask. But, I mean, is he teaming with the Freebirds because his name's Bad Street, and Bad Street is that's what Freebirds are all about, isn't it? He's not an official Freebird, though, is he? Or is he? I don't understand. It's mild. Tag to Armstrong, who cleans house, and we get a Pier 6 brawl. Armstrong wants Brad Street's I've actually written Brad Street. Wants Brad Street's mask, but it's a woeful looking DDT for the first elimination. Sorry, I do talk some shite there. Hayes is eliminated. Check this out, right? He throws Brad Street, over the top rope and gets disqualified. It's a disqualification if you chuck your opponent over the top rope in WCW at this time. But Armstrong's been fucking eliminated, so surely that doesn't count. But it does, because WCW. Another double DDT on Smothers gets rid of him, leaving Dustin on his own. Lariat on Garvin eliminates him, and then a Bulldog on Bad Street gets the win at 17 minutes and 10 seconds. Wow, this was bad. Unreal amounts of stalling, confusing booking, crowd didn't care until, and to his credit, until it came down to Dustin. Then they came alive, you know? The match-winning Bulldog hit Dink as well on the way down, so that was a nice touch, but this match was wank. And I'm tired. I've got energy drink and I'm tired. I am tired of this show at this point. We're only 5 matches in. There are many, many more to come. The Yellow Dog defeating Jonny B. Bad in a rubbish bounty match. A bounty match? What's one of those? Do you win some chocolate at the end of it? No, it's not as good as that. It goes like this. The Yellow Dog, right, is definitely not Brian Pillman, alright? That's important. Brian Pillman is definitely not the Yellow Dog. If anyone can get his mask off, right, they prove that it's Brian Pillman, they win a cash prize or some chocolate. One of the two, I don't know which. Maybe a big bag of cocaine, who knows. Dog has the honest to God golden retriever with him. A yellow dog! Hey! You know? Fuck's sake. Jim Ross gives us a tip who Dog is straight away when he says, some believe that Some say, I don't know why I went to a Yorkshire accent then, some people at Pitt say he's Brian Pillman. Some say that Dog is Brian Pillman. So it's like, right, he's definitely not Brian Pillman, right? Jonny B. Bad making his pay-per-view debut here along. He's got his manager with him, the Godfather, Theodore R. Long. I've got to ask this before we go on, right? Was Little Richard a bad person? All right, because I asked this because Jonny B. Bad's a heel. He's a very flamboyant, very camp wrestler, right? He's a comedy act, never going to go amount to anything, you know, never going to put a world title or anything. And what I'm trying to say is, why is this guy a heel? Why should I boo him? He's over the top, yes, but come on. Right, so, anyway, wait! Again! We don't get to see the first minute of this match, at least, because I'm watching this on the WWE Network, and up comes, presented in the most complete form possible due to original production technical difficulties. I don't know what happens. I'm guessing I don't miss much. Yeah, I'm guessing that the joke is that we all know. It's like Mr. America in 2003. We all know that he was Hulk Hogan, and so we all know that Yellow Dog is Brian Pillman, all right? Because the commentators, they do talk about it a lot. They mention that Yellow Dog is Brian Pillman's biggest fan, which is a big disappointment because I thought I was Brian Pillman's biggest fan. But, you know, and, you know, that he does all the moves that Dog does look very suspiciously like Brian Pillman's moves, you know? Anyway, there's a dropkick by Dog. Bad gets two off a sunset flip and puts on a chin lock just to show these fuckers here in Baltimore what an evil bastard he is, alright? He tries to pull the mask again, but Dog gets a German suplex, believe it or not, for two, followed by a horrible spin block. Sorry, by a horrible spin kick. This spin kick looks like he suplexed himself. He spins round in midair, right? But the way he comes down, it's like he'd been belly to back suplexed to the point I had to rewind it just to see. He botches a crossbody, and then when he covers, Theodore Arlong gets in the ring and tries to take the mask off to give us a disqualification finish at 6 minutes dead. Sloppy and boring with no heat and no reason to care, and another dud on a night of fucking duds. How's that sound? In the back, Eric Bischoff is outside some door. I'm guessing it's a locker room of some sort, where some guy has sent a poem to Missy Hyatt that some associate reads out. Eric busts into the locker room like the big dirty perv that he is, but Missy Hyatt spots him and throws stuff at him. This is our first appearance of Missy Hyatt on this show. It's very strange because she's a brunette here and she looks so much better. She looks nice, is the truth. She looks like a good looking woman. She's not smoking hot. She doesn't look like a tramp or a slut like she will later on. She just looks nice. She looks like Elizabeth did. She looks beautiful. All right. Goddamn next. Big Josh defeating Black Blood in a horrible Lumberjack match. Oh, look. Another stipulation match. After a scaffold match and a bounty match, we now get a Lumberjack match. Big Josh is the son of tough Tony Bourne. It's Matt Bourne, who will go on to be Doink, brah. You're making kids cry, brah. I'm sorry, OSW. I'm sorry. I'm such a rip-off. I'm sorry. Big Josh isn't remotely big in any way. Black Blood, if you're wondering, is Billy Jack Hayes. I've got his ROH shoot from back in the day. My God, that's a bitter man. Oh, God. Right. Do you ever write something and then read it back and go, oh, you know? I wish this was alcoholic and whiskey or the strength of Remember how I said on a vid a long, long time ago? Remember how I said, which fucking vid was it? I said there was a vid I did where I said that this show could be used as torture. Alright? This one is the new torture weapon. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. Okay, so Black Blood is an executioner, complete with a motherfucking giant blood-stained axe. He is billed as from a small town in France. That's very precise. That's like introducing someone as from Asia. Whereabouts? No one knows. He's from the continent. For fuck's sake. Josh is thrown to the outside a few times and comes back with a drop kick and a log roll. An honest to God log roll because he's a lumberjack. Silly. He brings out an axe handle with him. So both men have got axes. Fucking yes. The Lumberjacks brawl, and get this, the crowd for the first time tonight actually make some noise. They make noise. The Lumberjacks brawl 3 times in this match. Each time it gets a big pop. The match though, silence. Couldn't give a shit. Belly to back suplex by Blood, but the crowd just don't care because the Lumberjacks are brawling on the outside, like I say. Blood gets his axe. His motherfucking giant axe. Like he wants to cut Big Josh's head off. Clearly, he's the most evil man ever in wrestling. He doesn't want to win his matches. He wants to quite literally decapitate someone in the middle of the ring. But don't worry, here's the saviour. Here's the chosen one. The natural Dustin Rhodes is one of the Lumberjacks. He gets Big Josh's axe handle, uses it on the leg of Black Blood, and then fucking Big Josh gets a roll up for the win. Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus Christ. I so hoped when I was watching this that Dustin getting the axe handle was unintentional. It was just the first thing he grabbed. Oh, I've got an axe to try and stop the axe. Oh my fucking Christ. Horrible, awful, rubbish, shit and terrible. All rolled up like the finish into one lovely steaming pile of boo. Nobody cared about this match, especially the crowd. They did actually, I tell a lie, don't they? They did care about the Lumberjacks brawling on the outside. Not interested in this match at all. -1 fucking star. Speaking of minus, oh, these segues write themselves. El Gigante defeating OMG, it's one-man gang in a woeful match. El Gigante is the type of wrestler that makes my fucking brain ache. He is a failed basketballer. He was a basketballer because he's so fucking tall, standing legitimate 7 feet tall. He has a gaggle of midgets with him. I'm not making this up. No, really, I'm not making this up. A gaggle of midgets. El Gigante is the single worst wrestler I've ever had the misfortune of seeing, be it in person, at a backyard wrestling event of some sort, or on TV. Oh my God, was once Akeem, wasn't he? Fuck's sake. He's led to the ring by Kevin Sullivan because he's a nutcase, so therefore he must have Kevin Sullivan as his manager / herder. He cuts a promo with Bischoff at ringside that I have no idea what he says. Not one word. Midgets distract, oh my God, and trust me, this is the best part of this shitbox match. Gigante's punches are the pits. His selling is the worst I've ever seen in my life. I promise I'm not exaggerating that. Gang uses a wrench to take control, right? An honest to God wrench. And Gigante sells it by no selling it. I don't know, it's weird. His leg doesn't move, but he's got a look of pain on his face. I think it's a look of pain anyway. I'm not entirely sure. Honestly, Gigante sells pain like a man who's never experienced pain and has been told what pain feels like, and he's just guessing what pain actually is. That's the best I can describe. If I punch you on the arm and it hurt, that didn't hurt in the slightest. I'm such a wuss. If it hurt, we'll get there eventually. Ow! 5 punch arms. That's how weak I am. If I ever got into a fight, I'm just like, yeah, if I got 1 punch in, that's, you know, it's gonna have to be a fucking good one, isn't it? Oh dear me. So Gang goes up top. Gigante has to be told, come here and throw me off. And then the throw off that he does is so horrible looking. One Man Gang comes down all on his left shoulder. It looks horrendous. Gigante gets a terrible looking suplex. Kevin gives Oh My God some powder, which Gigante awkwardly boots into Oh My God's face, then hits him with a clothesline to the back, a sort of meh kind of clothesline, to the point where I said, please, please, one-man gang, don't stay down. 1, 2, 3, no! Mercifully, it's over, but for fuck's sake, every possible shade of shit that there could be is in this match. Right, let me tell you something, Willis. I started feeling sorry for one-man gang because he was expected to make El Gigante look good in this match, alright? Gigante, obviously, is a joke of a wrestler, and that was never, ever going to happen. Horrible. Not quite as bad as the opener, because there was some moves in this one, so we can't give it -5 or -6 or even -7, but -4 seems a very, very fair rating, right? I'm going to say something to you now that I've said on vids before, right? Normally, I say it for comedy effect and to sort of, you know, someone's shit, so I say this. But I promise you, I mean every single word of this, ladies and gentlemen. I am a better wrestler than El Gigante. That is a fact. The man has no idea in the ring, no clue how to do moves, no clue about selling whatsoever. The saving grace is that he didn't come out wearing his fucking foil hat. Jesus fucking Christ. Who let this idiot in the ring? That guy. That's right. Nah, of course. Now, I suppose the good thing about this one is that the WWF will never ever sign this guy. They'll never be stupid enough to look at matches like this and go, that guy's big, we could do something with... Shit. Yeah. Sasquatch. Against Undertaker at WrestleMania. Yeah, I remember. I know, don't worry. Next, Nikita Koloff defeating Sting in a terrible Russian chain match. Just what we need. Another gimmick match. This match, the only one on the show that's actually got a tiny bit of backstory, and the first one of the one that actually gets a build-up package. Because basically, Sting has been taken out by Koloff 3 times. Once in a match, once at ringside, and once on his way to a ring. To the ring, sorry. So there we go. Bear with me a second. Tiny come. So, Koloff waits for his cue. Seriously, I hope I never see anything from 91 again, because this is so bad looking. So bad. Koloff has no music. A chain match is a strap match. It's the same stipulations. Touch all 4 turnbuckles to win. Sting gets a mild pop when he comes out. Now, don't get me wrong. It's the pop of the night. But it's not half as big as you're expecting it to be. This crowd at this point, so... I don't know. I'm sat there watching going this, going... Eee. You know, having to be fed by a drip sort of thing. I managed to take notes, don't get me wrong, but I sat there going, please kill me. Also, can I just point something out to you guys? I probably shouldn't say this, but right this minute, it's the 23rd of October, 2014. I know you're watching this at Christmas time. Merry Christmas. I hope you're having a great one. I've had 2 months to film this review. I decided to film this review the moment this show had finished, so it's fresh in my mind. I did this for you! I hope that means something. We brawl at ringside. Koloff gets dropped on the guardrail. Inside, Sting introduces the Russian to the ring post and then chokes him with the chain, and we go to the entranceway. Inside, Sting touches 2 corners before Koloff can put the brakes on. We go outside, more rail brawling. And then Koloff is pulled into the ring post with the chain by Sting. Back inside, Koloff takes control with a nerve grip of mild discomfort. Sting yanks the chain, but Koloff cuts Sting off and gets to 3 corners. Bear hug, and they both touch 2 in a weird way. He's got me a bear hug, touches him, and then they sort of spin round. So Sting's also is touching as well, so it's strange. Koloff goes low, which gets the first heat of the night. So Sting goes, well, he got some for him. Fuck it. He goes low as well, because he's a babyface, because he can, and because WC fucking W. How's that sound? They both get to 3, and then, in one of those, oh, that's a shit finish, Sting does a Stinger splash to the back of Koloff as he's making his way to the last corner. He touched the corner first, and Koloff wins the match. And you go, Oh, that's a shit finish. That is one shit finish. They brought some more after the bell, with Sting getting pop of the night by wrapping the chain around the ropes and pulling it into Koloff's testicles. Okay. No flow, no heat. A horrible, horrible finish and a horrible, horrible match. It's time, folks, to put the cage up, so we've got to kill some time. Because you sat there looking at this going, right, there's an hour left of this. Oh, sorry, there's like 45 minutes left of this show. 2 matches. Not going to take that long. So we get a build-up package on Lex Luger. It's crystal clear that Lex Luger here is being primed as the man. He is the man. He will beat Ric Flair at the Great American Bash 1991 and go off to be WCW's version of Hulk Hogan. I know it, you know it, Luger knows it, the bookers knows it. I tell you who does know it as well, Ric fucking Flair. Now Ric Flair is the defending champion, isn't he? It's Ric Flair versus Lex Luger. Oh wait, where's Ric Flair? He's not here. He's not at this show. Fuck it, he's not even in this company because 2 weeks ago, Jim Herd, boss of WCW, fired his ass. Now that, of course, is a simplified version of what happens if you want to go and find out, go and look it up. Trust me, that's the simplest way I can put it. Okay? Now then, there's more, much more, trust me. Because Ric Flair said, fuck you to Jim Herd and sent the WCW/NWA Championship belt to some bloke in New York called Vince McMahon, because back in the day the champion had to put down $25,000 when he became the champion as sort of a deposit on the belt. They would get their money back when they lost the championship. Nice and simple. Now because the Jim Herd refused to give him his money back, Ric Flair, fuck you, sent the belt to Vince because he could. Isn't that great? And in the build-up to SummerSlam, we're going to see the belt on WWF TV with Bobby the Brain Heenan cutting promos on behalf of Ric Flair. The comparing this championship to horse manure is the thing that comes to mind. Now then, what are we going to do here? Because if they haven't got the championship belt, what are we going to do? Well, we have got a belt for tonight. It's an old Florida Western States Championship belt that Dusty Rhodes just happens to have in his fucking suitcase or something. And they've put a plate on the front, in the middle, that's square and has just got World Heavyweight Champion on it. It looks as good as it sounds. Hooray! Okay, now then, something I've heard about this show. There's a moth. Fuck off, moth. I'm trying to film a video, cunt. Jesus, if it's not fucking police cars, it's bloody animals. Right, so one of the things I'd heard about, I'd never seen that. One of the things I'd heard about this show was that there was many "We Want Flair" chants throughout the show. Now, to this point, there has been precisely none. But while the Jim Ross and Tony Schiavone are talking at ringside, and the cage is lowering, a big "We Want Flair" chant goes up. It's like, do you remember this year at the Royal Rumble when the crowd realised that Daniel Bryan wasn't coming out? It's like that. They've realised, right, we need Flair to be in this match. They're advertising it as Luger versus Windham, but there's going to be some sort of bait and switch so that Flair doesn't have to retain the championship or something like that, defend the championship, something like that. So, yeah, we want Flair. We want Flair. Oh, no. Lex Luger defeating Barry Windham in an okay, to their credit, steel cage match to win the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Another stipulation match. Another one, a steel cage match. Nothing against Windham. Honest to God, nothing. He was a great worker. But no one in this building thinks he's winning this match. Not a chance. Huge "We Want Flair" chant as the match starts. Close-ups of the crowd at ringside chanting "We Want Flair" at the top of their lungs, holding up the fours and everything. It's great. There's a nice feeling out process where they both attempt moves that are easily countered. And what I mean by that is that Windham goes for a shoulder block, that Luger's having none of it. Luger goes for a power slam, goes for a suplex that Windham's having none of. Windham gets a drop kick. Luger gets one off the cradle as the fans chant Nature Boy because they can. Luger with a slam, but an elbow misses. Slugfest leads to a backdrop by Barry, which gets a nice, loud, "We want Flair! We want Flair!" chant. Suplex by Luger looks good. Figure 4 attempt by Windham is countered. The crowd are indifferent now until Luger gets an atomic drop. The crowd enjoyed that atomic drop that much that they chant, "We want Flair." And every time they chant, "We want Flair," my smile goes up just a tiny little bit more as I'm watching this match. Trust me, it's brilliant. Sleeper by Luger, one by Windham. Crowd do the right thing and stay completely silent for both. DDT by Luger gets 2. He goes up top only to be tossed off. Fortunately, there's only 1.5 matches left, and one of those matches goes 2 minutes, so we shouldn't be long. I can't believe I've been talking for so long. I cannot believe I thought 25 minutes tops.
Merry Christmas. You haven't actually mentioned the show, the name of the show.
Well, I thought it'd be obvious. It's in the title, isn't it?
Yeah, but...
Well, yeah, well, you know. It says it'll say it in the description and the title.
Yeah.
Right, shut up. I'm going now. You can keep talking. I'm just going to mute you. Happy days. I've lost my place. What would I say? Oh, tossed off. That was a good, convenient place to start, wasn't it? Luke goes up top, but is tossed off by Windham. When does Luger ever go up top? When does that ever happen? Elbow off the top by Windham, misses and pops the crowd, briefly. Backed up by Luger and a pair of clotheslines get 2. Power slam by Luger is followed by the rack, which again gets a pop. Windham is able to counter this really nicely into a back suplex, which is really, really good actually. Up top, Windham counters a superplex and hits a lariat off the top, followed by a backdrop, and here's lariat number 2. Windham goes up top again and gets a crap-looking missile dropkick where only one of the feet connects. And here's Holly Race and Mr. Hughes. They come down to the ring. They talk to Luger. They apparently, we don't hear this, but Tony has got great hearing being at the top of the fucking entrance ramp. And he says, apparently Race says, now is the time. So Luger turns around and hits Windham with a pile driver for the 1, 2, and 3 at 12 minutes, 20 seconds. Big pop from the crowd until, and this is a good moment, it's not a good moment, it's a great moment as a wrestling fan. You watch it going, but wait, look, because Luger has his arm held up by Race, and the crowd go, yeah! And it's brilliant. But of course, I do not understand why the biggest babyface in the company on one of their big shows where they're restarting the company at this show, here at the Great American Bash 1991, they turned their biggest babyface heel. And I just do not get that one bit. That is mad. The match was definitely the best match of the night, but it's 2 stars. It's all right. It's nothing you want to go out of your way to find. Trust me on that one. All right, so our main event, and you'll love this. Rick Steiner defeating Arn Anderson and Paul E. Dangerously in a rubbish handicap steel cage match. Yes, another stipulation. I guess it's so that they don't have to take the cage down or something like that. I don't know. So let's go through the. Let's start at the beginning. Someone explain to me why the vacant World Championship isn't your main event. Someone explain that, because I just don't fucking know. All right. Secondly, why is this match your main event? All right. Thirdly, we'll go into why this, the thingy. This was meant to be a 6-person tag match. All right. So it was meant to be Missy Hyatt and the Steiner brothers versus Arn Anderson, Barry Windham, and Paul E. Dangerously. But then when Ric Flair said "fuck you" to Jim Herd and was fired, so Barry Windham was put into the title match. So obviously Barry can't be it. And then Scott Steiner was an inconsiderate prick and got injured, so he can't be in this one. So now we've got our handicap match. Well, why is it a handicap match? Well, it's meant to be a tag match. It's meant to be a mixed tag team match. But you want a normal match, do you? Well, let's say it with me then one more time. Fuck you! Because it's not even some guys. Dick Murdoch, Dick Slater, who really looks like the guy of AC/DC. Seriously. They come out and force Missy to the back, making it a handicap match. Not sure if that's a bad thing or not. I can't remember Missy Hyatt wrestling, so I don't know what she's like in the ring. All right, so Steiner catches on with a nice power slam. Paul gets an axe handle. He takes a shoe off and gives it to Arn, who hits a Steiner line. A slam and a Steiner line on Paulie Dangerously get the win in 2 minutes. To utter silence, because the crowd, like me, are going, come on, there's got to be something else. There's got to be a reason for this angle being in our main event. There's got to be something else. There isn't. We go to Tony, we go to JR, who thank us for being here, and that's your pay-per-view. What a truly shit main event. Terrible, 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 terrible. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. In conclusion, shall we say, too many stipulations, because there was lots. The crowd were dead throughout, because really, to be honest, they only had eyes for one person right here, and that man wasn't in the building. Commentary was terrible. Jim Ross's commentary was not good here, and I tell you something, seeing Jim Ross smile on camera made me feel uneasy, honest to God. Nothing on the card beforehand to make you go, well, that could be good. You know, apart from the obvious, the Express exploding. Worst mainstream pay-per-view I've ever seen. It's not as bad as Heroes of Wrestling, obviously, but this is worse than Halloween Havoc 2000, worse than Starrcade 99. Oh, yes, it is. This is so many shades of bollocks. It's an utter abomination, there you go, of a wrestling show. Do not go out of your way to see it. Actually, no, fuck it. Please do. All of you who contributed videos to the start of this, this video, who said what the worst show ever is, I want you to go out, find this show. It's on the network. It's also on Daily Motion in parts if you want to go and see it. Apart from the cage match. Isn't that weird? The reason that I watched this on the network and had to borrow someone's network details at this moment, now I know you're watching this in December, I watched this in October, so at that moment in time, didn't have access to the network. At this moment in time, now when you're watching this, I may do. That's the great thing about time travel, isn't it? I mean, recording in advance or something. I don't shut Mark. On Daily Motion, the cage match isn't there, which I'm sure you're devastated about because it's the best match of the night. Isn't that weird? The uploader uploaded everything, all the shit, left the best match off. Isn't that strange? So yeah, you've got one match that's 1.5 stars and one match that's 2 stars. They alone cannot save this one from a 0 out of 10. I mean, if you were feeling in a particularly festive mood, you might want to give this one half a point. So it's 0.5 out of 10. But I'm not, because I fucking hate Christmas. How's that one sound? Ladies and gentlemen, in all seriousness, thank you so much for watching my videos this year. I really hope you've enjoyed them. I really hope you've enjoyed this. Here's to another great year, because this one's been fantastic. A lot of new subs, a lot of new viewers, a lot of new Twitter followers and the Facebook page and all that. It's been fantastic. I hope everyone watching this, whether you love me or you hate me, has a wonderful Christmas, a prosperous new year, and I will see you all in 2015. So long, guys. Take it easy. Fucking WCW. What a joke. Here's yourself.
Oh, dude, have fun. Rant, and,
I'll try my best. I hope I entertain you.
Thank you very much.
You're going to get to see this vid 2 months before any fucker else.
And make sure you say Merry Christmas to your subscribers.
Merry Christmas, fuckers. Sort of thing, yeah. Oh. If you're wondering, it's October. This was filmed months in advance. Just to make sure. Right, I'm going to mute you. Muting you now. Can you still hear me, Danny? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Sorted. Christmas one. Fucking love Christmas. Christmas special. Christmas is dope, apparently. I wonder if you could be so kind and let me know what is the worst pay-per-view you've ever seen. General public, hit me with what you think is the worst pay-per-view ever. Clips, clips, clips. Clips, clips, clips. Lots and lots of clips. Clips is good. Clips are our mate. It's interesting there. It's very, very interesting because there's various clips there from going, what the fuck is a scaffold match? Well, I'm going to let my friend Joey here explain the rules of a scaffold match because he's Joey and he can and he knows these things. Over to you, Joey. Wrestling, 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 wrestling. You see, those are the rules of a scaffold way to find. Trust me on that one. Pause. Where's he gone? Agar's fucked off. Finally, our main event is Rick Steiner defeating Arn Anderson and Paul E. Dangerously in another handicap cage match. Yes, it's okay. Our main event is Rick Steiner defeating Arn Anderson and Paul E. Dangerously in a rubbish handicap cage match, another stip match. Let's start off with the obvious, alright? So this was meant to be Steiner Brothers and Missy Hyatt versus Paul E. Dangerously, Arn Anderson, and Barry Windham. When Ric Flair said, fuck you, and got fired by Jim Herd, Windham's put in the title match, so we can't have that. And then Scott Steiner was an inconsiderate. Alright, so, our main event, and you'll love this. Rick Steiner